The Calm Cove Spa was a place of eerie tranquility, a supposed sanctuary nestled in the heart of the city. Its soft lighting and gentle aroma of lavender seemed to promise a peaceful escape from the chaos of urban life. But for those of us who worked there, it was a different story altogether. A tale of creeping dread that we whispered about in hushed tones behind closed doors. I had been a massage therapist at the spa for nearly a year, and at first I had loved the sense of calm that came with the job. But as time went on, I started to notice strange things. The lights would flicker more than usual, the temperature would fluctuate unpredictably, and sometimes in the stillness of an empty room, I would feel an unsettling presence, as if someone was watching me. I tried to brush it off as mere paranoia, but the feeling only grew stronger. One evening, as I was preparing a room for my regular client, Mr. Robert, the air turned icy cold. The candles on the table flickered wildly, despite the absence of any draft. I tried to reassure myself that it was just the HVAC system acting up, but deep down, I knew it was something more. When Mr. Robert arrived and settled onto the massage table, his relaxation was short-lived. Midway through the session, he sat up abruptly, his face pale and sweaty. "There's something in the corner," he whispered, pointing towards the darkest part of the room. I followed his gaze but saw nothing. "It must be a shadow," I reassured him, trying to keep my voice steady. But my heart was racing and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The unease in Mr. Roberts' voice lingered with me long after he left, and I couldn't help but wonder if I was losing my mind. In the days that followed, more and more clients came forward with their own inexplicable experiences. They spoke of cold spots that raised goosebumps on their skin, the eerie feeling of being watched, and whispers that seemed to emanate from nowhere. The staff started sharing their own experiences too. Emily, one of my co-workers, claimed she saw a figure standing by the door of the break room, a woman, partially translucent, with hollow eyes that seemed to bore into her soul. "She just stood there," Emily stammered, her voice trembling. "And then she disappeared like smoke." I tried to tell myself it was just a prank, a collective delusion, but as the strange occurrences grew more frequent, skepticism gave way to fear. I started to wonder if the spa was haunted, if some malevolent presence was lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was next. Desperate for answers, the staff decided to dig into the spa's dark past. Late one night, armed with old city records and online archives, we uncovered a chilling truth. Calm Cove Spa had once been a notorious asylum where patients were subjected to inhumane treatments that would make your skin crawl. The patients were forced to endure ice baths, isolation, and other cruel practices that would drive anyone to the brink of madness. One name kept popping up in our research: Roxanna. She was a young woman who had been admitted for hysteria and died under mysterious circumstances during a botched ice bath treatment. Her death certificate cited hypothermia, but the details were shrouded in mystery, and the circumstances reeked of foul play. It was said that Roxanna's spirit lingered, trapped within the walls of her torment, reliving the horrors she had endured. The spa, despite its transformation, still bore the scars of its haunted past. After our discovery, the disturbances escalated. Lights would flicker incessantly, doors would slam shut on their own, and the temperature in certain rooms would drop to near freezing levels. It was as if Roxanna's spirit was growing stronger, more restless. One night, while I was locking up, the entire spa was plunged into darkness. I turned on my phone's flashlight and began making my way to the circuit breaker, my heart racing with anticipation. That's when I saw her, Roxanna. Her figure was illuminated briefly in the beam of my flashlight. A woman with long, wet hair, her white dress dripping as though she had just stepped out of an icy pool. Her face was contorted in anguish, her lips moving soundlessly. I tried to speak, but my voice was frozen in my throat. "Who are you?" I stammered, my voice barely above a whisper. In response, the air around me grew frigid. A faint wail filled the room, rising to a heart-stopping shriek that sent shivers down my spine. I bolted out of the spa, not stopping until I was safely in my car, my hands trembling as I fumbled with the keys. The next day, we held an emergency meeting. Everyone had their own terrifying tale to tell. Sarah had seen handprints form on the frosted windows in the middle of the day, as if Roxanna was trying to get our attention. Jake described hearing a woman sobbing in the therapy room, even though he was alone. The spa's once serene reputation was now a nightmare for those who worked there. We decided to confront Roxanna, to try and free her spirit from its cycle of grief and anger. A local medium, known for her work in cleansing haunted spaces, agreed to help us. She explained that Roxanna's spirit wasn't malevolent, but rather trapped in a cycle of fear and unease, feeding off the negative energy around her. We were determined to help Roxanna find peace, to free her spirit from its earthly binds. But as we prepared for the cleansing ritual, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were playing with forces beyond our control. That evening, the medium conducted a seance, her voice low and hypnotic as she called out to Roxanna. The therapy room was dimly lit, the shadows cast by the flickering candles like skeletal fingers on the walls. The air was heavy with anticipation, and the tension was palpable. "She's here," the medium whispered, her eyes closed in concentration. "She's listening." Through the medium, Roxanna's story unfolded like a dark tapestry, her anguish and longing for release pouring out like a river of sorrow. Tears streamed down the medium's face as she channeled Roxanna's emotions, her body shuddering with the weight of the dead woman's pain. "Roxanna," the medium pleaded, her voice cracking with emotion. "We are sorry for what was done to you. You deserve peace. Let us help you move on." The room was silent for a moment, the only sound the soft hum of the candles. Then, with a deafening crash, the therapy table tipped over, and the lights blazed brightly before dimming to their usual glow. The air warmed, and a profound silence filled the room, as if the very presence of Roxanna had been extinguished. After that night, the spa seemed to return to normal. The flickering lights stopped, and the eerie sensations faded. We placed a small fountain in the lobby with a plaque honoring Roxanna, hoping to acknowledge her pain and give her the peace she deserved. But sometimes, late at night when I'm closing up alone, I still feel her presence, a faint chill in the air, a whisper just out of earshot. And I wonder, did we truly help her move on? Or is she still here, watching, waiting? The spa's serene facade may have been restored, but for those of us who witnessed Roxanna's torment, the scars remain. The memory of a tortured soul still lingers, a haunting reminder that some secrets refuse to stay buried.